shot by Buddha. Facebook Gaming in the building.
Into the end zone! Five Nations, stand up!
Said watching the go live, feeling good tonight. All right. Let's get into the major topic, man. EA Sports, College Football 27. The College Football Dynasty Road to Glory community fought hard, valiant effort led by Bordeaux. And they were over to overturn the microtransactions from EA Sports, a feat that none of us thought could be accomplished. But it just shows you what happens when people stand together. The power is with the people. It has and always will be. But y'all know Unc like to play devil's advocate, and I need y'all to drop them crystal balls in the chat, and I'm gonna explain to y'all exactly what I mean. I really meant it when I said, when you're dealing with these billionaire companies, multi-million dollar, $1 trillion companies, you just have to watch history. And that's why I explained it perfectly in that reel I dropped, showing that like the ultimate goal for EA is to give us the game free and to indoctrinate us into microtransactions. I had some people in my comments talking about, I spent my $200 on my coaching points and they won't refund it. But you chose to. Man, y'all MUT players, all y'all do is rip packs if you choose to. The ultimate thing about free will is ultimately you still have a choice to make. Y'all seen me play Ultimate Team a whole year, no money spent before, and compete in the MCS. Y'all seen me play regs and not touch MUT some years. I've hosted over 600 tournaments, paid cash tournaments, big money tournaments, destination place tournaments. 90% of those tournaments have been regs. Bob Hill, myself, CFMs, was a part of CD Deuce's CFM. Like a lot of different CFMs we've been a part of that didn't require you to spend money. So ultimately it's a goal, and I hope it's a learning lesson for the community. You still can choose to not spend all your money on these things and they would go away just as easily. But the problem is, like I said, is the empathy in the community of, it's not my problem, it's not affecting my game mode, so it didn't bother me. So I think I got a lot of respect from the Twitter community for them understanding that I'm not defending EA's actions. We all know what EA does. You know, if they could charge us $10 a gallon for gas and $10 for per egg, and they could charge us a microtransaction every time you open up the game, they would do it. But ultimately, supply and demand, if we stop demanding these things and have some discernment that just because I lost a game, the dopamine hit of me ripping a pack, upgrading my team to try to win the next game, it's just got to go away. So I'm proud of the community for finally taking a stand. And for all those that think that Ultimate Team and Ultimate Team community is the reason why these situations exist, you simply just don't understand how far behind the sports community is compared to the other games that are out. So if y'all got any questions about this pay don't play, let me know in the chat. But I definitely think this is good for the community. But everybody's got to come to grips with this company still got what they wanted. They got the player base happy. They gave them what they want, that they will be able to continue to play the game and play the game even more now that you've been given what you want. And the ultimate thing is they won the battle. Will we win the war? That ultimately, I think the ultimate goal for EA I think the ultimate goal for EA is to give you the game free and to let you spend on microtransactions. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, because if they put out a good regs mode with a lot of new features, or they put out a CFM with a lot of good features and support, and they put out a good ultimate team with a good meta, I think the average person would probably spend more money on the game in that light if they were actually enjoying the experience, as opposed to if the game was just to release the way it's done, because you're either gonna push people off the plate or they're gonna swing. They're just going to bust mad mud players over there. I don't think so. I think right now EA is gonna tread light, and on 28 is when they gonna make their play, because if anybody's familiar with history, World War II, Japan dropped the bombs on Pearl Harbor, and their intention was never to end the war. The Chinese knew what they was trying to do. Japan was really just trying to grab the oil fields. Russia doesn't care about Ukraine. They care about the oil fields in Ukraine and the geographical military border that keeps them separated from the rest of Europe. So, they'll think about Stalingrad, or, they'll think about Imperial Japan and China. So you just have to just keep that in mind, that like the ultimate goal is not to win that battle, but long term, hey man, if I got the oil fields for the next 100 years, I've been in solidified the finances of my country. That's what they're ultimately trying to do, is figure out the data of how many of our player base, if we give them a good product, would spend money on connected franchise and spend and do microtransactions. How could they introduce it to regs, and how will they keep it consistent with the Ultimate Team community? Because ultimately with regs, you've paid for the game and they give you the same game from July to July, and they took away the Madden Classic. So there's no $250,000 tournament on regs. It's not. You see, because you can't even be really mad at the business model, because when you think about Players Lounge and regs players would spend a lot of money gambling on the game, but wouldn't buy a microtransaction. So how did they get a piece of that pie? The same way you say that people complain about the $100 on connected franchise for the coaching points, but the same people will pay $50 or $100 for a connected franchise league where they win $1,000 when it's over, and the person running the league keeps $2,200. So it's kind of the thing where, like, what do they implement in the future to where it's an even trade off? Because ultimately, as a consumer, you just don't want to feel taken. You want to feel like I'm getting what I paid for. You now have sold me something that that's packaged one way, and the thing that you give me is another, which is the reason why ultimately you've seen this play don't pay backfire on them. But ultimately, they were able to get the statistics, and for the people who spent their money already, you have no one to blame but yourself. Like, don't be mad at everybody else because you didn't hold the line. You folded quick, so you can complain. You can complain at EA, you complain at the Mutt guys, but Mutt guys ain't making connected franchise and road to glory people spend for coaching points. I'm sorry, we're not. Chris, what up? Grinding minds, no money spent. And this is the thing. If you enjoy the grind, I wouldn't care what somebody else does spending wise, because I did that poll on Twitter, and there's a lot of people that said, like, I'm spending thousands on Madden in college football. And somebody's like, I ain't spending nothing. And then there's some people that's like, well, if it's a good CFM, I spend $100 into the CFM mode. And somebody's like, I spent $100 on regs if it had da-da-da-da-da. And then somebody's like, yo, I spent a couple hundred. The consistency is, do any of us care about the person that won't spend any money on CFM, any money on regs, and any money on Ultimate Team? They're kind of like a deadbeat debtor, like a person with a credit card that swipes it and pays it off before the bill hits is a deadbeat debtor, is what they call it. It would be the same. EA and no other dev is marketing their game to the person that has no intention on spending any money on the game that they spend the most time with. It just, It's like dating a girl that you never take her out. You know what I'm saying? You just want to stay at home with her. Eventually, she's gonna meet somebody that wants to take her out, and that's where the attention is gonna go. Impulse with the bits, love and light, loafing. What's good, my boy? I would only spend a little bread if it was mud or something, not in offline mode. That kind of was my point. Was like, if you spent money on an offline mode game, who could you be mad at other than yourself? Like if I bought 007, I'm not gonna spend $100 to skip through the game and be at the last mission. You know, it's like you don't buy Zelda and like spend money and skip all the levels of Zelda. Like to me, like saying that you want a realistic game, but then want something that when the game first drops, you can max out your coach and your players. Like, where's the fun in that anyways? Like, for as much as people talk about the MUT community, the blessing of MUT is the first 90 days, you got an 80 overall team, 85 overall team. A month in, we had 87, 88 overall team. You really don't crack into the 90s until Most Fear hits in October. And that's the most fun of Madden Ultimate Team is team building from day one until that first 90 days when you get to Most Feared. So it's like MUT is the slowest game mode. That's why I think so many people put so much time and money into it, is because it's a slow game mode. If you get on regs, Mahomes is already at 99. Kelsey's already at 99. You know who the 99 speed player is from July to July. So, well, August to August because it's Madden. But, that's the thing that, we all as a community have to say, let's stop bashing the other game modes and just say, you know what? Play the game mode you like. Put the time into it that you want to put into it. Put the money into it that you want to put into it. And we're not here to really judge somebody else's choices on what they choose to do. Because contrary to popular belief, the people that spend the most money on Ultimate Team are people who just like the team build and enjoy that aspect of it. Most of the time, the people that spend the most on a game are not the best players. I'm sorry to tell you. But that's ultimately my thoughts, though. Like, I'm proud of the community for fighting, but ultimately, just like anything else, if it's religion, if it's politics, if it's just general topics, the community, the people have to stick together and not be divided. It's like I was joking when I said like the different game modes that people play is like classism or racism in gaming. Like, ew, he's an offline guy. Ew, he's a MUT player. Ew, he's a reg player. He's dirty. You're just like, no, we all playing the same game. You play it a different way. And, as much as people try to give the MUT guys trash, MUT people are the only people who play all three game modes. MUT guys will play regs out the gate. They'll get on Ultimate Team once it's time to start team building. Once you get through the once you get through the free trial periods, once they unlock Ultimate Team for real, people get on that. And then when the MUT season is over, all the MUT players run to CFMs and then ultimately get back to regs by the time by the time the spring and summer hit. So it's like, I would contend to say Ultimate Team players are probably the most well-rounded Madden players because we play all game modes. We don't just stick, and we understand the difference between the different modes.